So a little over 10 years ago, cardiovascular MR was not really used for the investigation of patients with ischemic heart disease. And it's been a very rapid journey through technological development and clinical trials and applications to see where we are now with CMR being recommended as a Class 1A diagnostic test in the recent 2014 ESC revascularization guidelines. So a Class 1A recommendation for CMR is very comparable to stress echo and myocardial perfusion scintigraphy, showing that it's an excellent first-line investigation. And this has been really based on some landmark trials that have been conducted in the field in the last few years. We had the CMR trial published in 2012 in The Lancet, which was really the largest real-world diagnostic evaluation of CMR head-to-head against myocardial perfusion scintigraphy with the reference standard of invasive coronary angiography. And that showed that CMR was a really excellent diagnostic test and actually in some aspects better than myocardial perfusion scintigraphy. We also had from that trial evidence that it was a highly cost-effective test and it was a very good prognosticator. We then went on and had the CMARC2 trial, which was presented at the ESC in 2016 and simultaneously published in JAMA. And this was a trial of CMR head-to-head versus the UK NICE guidelines at the time. And what the trial showed that whether you used either CMR or myocardial perfusion scintigraphy as another ischemia test, we could actually dramatically reduce the rates of unnecessary invasive coronary angiography. That is, angiograms being performed that don't show evidence of obstructive coronary disease, compared to what the UK NICE guidelines were at the time. And then more recently, we've had the MR-INFORM multi-center clinical trial. And this has been a trial of CMR head-to-head versus invasive coronary angiography with FFR to see whether a strategy of a non-invasive diagnostic test could be non-inferiority to FFR-guided revascularization. The results of that trial were presented at the ACC in 2017, and we're pleased to find out that that's now been accepted for publication in a major international journal. And it really did confirm that whether you're using CMR as either a diagnostic test, as a gatekeeper for coronary angiography, or as a test to guide revascularization, it really was highly valuable and very evidence-based. So I think this has now had a big impact on clinical practice throughout the world, and particularly through the UK and Europe. We see in the UK now stress CMR being performed as a major first-line test. We have centres in the UK that are performing in excess of 5,000 stress CMR studies a year. So it really has been a big landmark change in just over a decade. What we're also seeing is in the US, the uptake of CMR has been a little bit less dramatic. And there are lots of different reasons why that may be. But we've had some exciting data presented here at the Congress yesterday by Professor Purnell from the Brompton Hospital in London, which was looking at the GADACAD studies. And these were two global multi-center clinical trials of CMR compared to invasive coronary angiography. And these were designed to really give more weight to regulatory approval in the US. And the results of the GADACAD-1 and GADACAD-2 studies have essentially shown that the diagnostic accuracy of CMR in a global multi-center setting is very comparable and almost identical, really, to the CMARC1 trial, which was a single-center UK study. So I think this gives lots of reassurance for the cardiology community that CMR is a really robust tool, has a high diagnostic accuracy, highly cost-effective, and is a great prognostic tool as well.